Okay, so now we've got our Metroid Zero Mission 100% run being done by Mobius Man, and we have a lot of commentators here. So if you guys want to introduce yourself, and then when you're ready, just count it down, and we can start.
It's not really commentators so much, just an entourage.
But yeah, if you guys all want to introduce yourselves.
I think. Okay. So for commentary we have Simon and Simon. It's gonna be awesome. I'm Dragon Fangs. I run this game. I also do tool assisted runs for this game and Fusion.
Are you sure?
I believe so.
You didn't sound very sure.
Hello, anybody else?
Where did Simon 2 go?
Your entourage has apparently left you.
Wow, so rude.
Eagle, where you at?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, sorry.
Welcome back.
And there's also Sam the Digital.
But he's not saying anything right now, so maybe he's gone.
Yep, he's muted, but whatever.
It's Jappy, you guys.
Yeah. Alright.
So yeah, just count down when you're ready and you can start.
Okay. Simon, you want to count me in?
You can count yourself in there.
Fine. Alright, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. So last year we had 3 Zero Mission runs back to back, which was perhaps a bit much. This year we got this one, and then we got a sweet 80% race tomorrow. But today it's just this.
Yep, so 100% hasn't really changed much overall since last year, but there's been a couple of there's been one actually very important route change that you will see
Yeah, there's
a
one
bit
thing that's
later.
very cool. Let's not talk about that one. It's kind of
Don't worry, I won't spoil it. I just want to mention that something happened that actually saves a comparatively large amount of time compared to...
Not that much.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Well, I mean comparatively, because every route change seems to be only a few seconds.
It's like 2
The reason
seconds.
it's important. The reason it's important is it looks really cool.
Oh no, yeah, it saves doors, so it saves a bunch of RTA time.
That's another thing we should perhaps talk a bit about.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How basically
So we've been counting on by in-game time for most of this game's lifetime, but we've recently, it's not completely a switchover, but it's mostly a switchover to using an RTA timing. So that's changed up which route we use quite a bit.
Talk about the reasons for that.
The main reason that I cared about was that we found that if you pause the game during certain parts of the game, you just gain a frame of in-game time. The game, every time you unpause, the game starts running 1 frame before the in-game timer starts running. So if you
every time there's something reminiscent of a cutscene that runs in the game's real time or whatever, you can pause a bunch, and that'll it'll save you in-game time, and you can actually save a bunch.
Yeah, so pretty much
a cutscene of a specific boss dying that might last something I don't know, 10 seconds or something like that. So in principle, you could pause hundreds of times and save all those in-game time seconds if you wanted to. That'd obviously be really boring in a speedrun. So
yeah, it's just obnoxious. So we decided not to do that.
Good decision.
yeah, definitely a good decision.
So we got past the scariest part of the run already, which was getting drops after the first boss. If that
Did you
doesn't
get
happen,
1 or
you're
2
screwed.
drops?
I got 2 drops.
I got 2
Whoops,
drops.
I just wasted a missile though, so
Oh, okay.
roundabouts.
Rip, reset,
Yeah.
don't die.
When you get to an elevator or something, can you turn the game sound up a bit? People are saying it's quiet coming through on the Twitch stream.
Don't
Maybe.
die.
Oh, that was
Oh, that was scary.
It's fine, guys.
It's
Chill.
cool. It's cool. This is
So,
fun.
coming up in a
This
bit
is-
is bit of you can do 2 different routes soon, right? Do you want to explain that, Dragonfangs?
The route different, like basically, you can either go. You need after you get bombs, you need to go back to crate. You can either do that by going back the way you came, which is what we do in any prison, because like that's the fastest way. Or you can go off top where there are a couple of items. But you could also, like, if you go the bottom route, you have to go back the top route later and grab those items. Like, these rounds end up being like it's like a 2-second time difference. So going the bottom route is about 2 seconds faster overall, but it leaves you with less items. So missile counts and various other things in crate get sort of dicey. So I think Mobius goes the top route back. I'm pretty sure.
Mobius will definitely go for the early Brinstar cleanup route, as we call it. He's much more comfortable with that. But
There are so many DFs in chat, but it's fine. Okay.
And my main rationale for doing early Brinstar is, in theory, it lets you skip a refill later in the run that you have to take with late Brinstar. But on this run, I'm going to be refilling anyway, because if I don't, I might die, and that'll be bad.
This route is overall safer, so I mean.
it's definitely,
it's the correct
especially
choice
in a
from there.
marathon setting, it's much safer.
It's the
Well,
correct
safer
choice
if you
from there.
refill.
I guess like not refilling isn't safe. So
Yeah.
sure.
We also get to see a couple of pretty cool bomb jumps here at the beginning, and they're used a fair bit in 100%. That was one of the reasons I personally did not start running 100% for a while, because I was terrible at bomb jumping, and there's quite a few, especially this was sort of the main route people used early Brinstar, and you have to bomb jump a fair bit.
Yeah, the route difference of taking the lower route and doing this part really late is actually fairly new.
That's not true, is it?
It's fairly new. Like it's for like 8 years we did top like there was no contest, and that doing this early was better. I mean, it depends on what you count as.
I mean, people thought of late
Reasonable.
Brinstar ages ago, they just didn't do it, because we assumed it was bad.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
what I
might
mean.
notice that
Whatever.
if you know this game, you might notice that Mobius Man is like right next to Barrier Suit, but he's actually not gonna pick that up, and there's a specific reason for that. Maybe we should talk about it later, or should we just explain
No,
why
we can
we
take
do
it
that
now.
now?
We can point it out again when it becomes relevant again.
So the reason that he is not actually picking up Barrier Suit, because this is a 100% run, right? We want to collect all the items in the game, but the game actually gives you Warrior Suit for free later on.
No!
So
Yes, we do. Yes, it does. What was that? That was not a good bundle.
No, it wasn't.
but it's a cool bomb jump. Like you sort of start at a diagonal and then go straight up, or vice versa.
It's a really hard bomb jump because there are multiple enemies on the screen that you all have to take like all of them into consideration.
Right, and like
that.
these can like either start moving left or right as soon as you enter a room. So there's a couple of different patterns that you need to adjust for. Not always easy to like tell what kind of pattern you need to like bomb jump around as soon as you enter the room. But as you guys can see, he has a lot of missiles now. And you need a bunch because you need to kill a specific boss once you enter crate area, and that's actually one of the like bosses that take the most missiles in the game, I think, like overall.
I think so, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
He has twice
almost.
as much health as Graves.
I think it has like the second highest health. Does it have the second highest health in the game? Like after
No,
Rhythm?
that'd be Mother Brain.
Oh yeah, I guess Mother
No,
Brain
Margaret
has
has more than that as well.
Oh, I guess it's not at all.
Yeah,
But
never mind.
we fight the boss.
We're just making stuff up.
We do fight the boss pretty early, and we have to pick up a ton of missile tanks to even have the ammo to kill him. And on top of that, we have to kill 2 regular enemies afterwards that also take a ton of missiles. So there's a lot of ammo management early on in the round.
So in total, he needs about 30 missiles for the boss, and then another 20 right after. So ammo is kind of scarce, like at the beginning of the run. Less so if he does early Brinstar, which is what he did.
course, you can skip the boss.
You could, but it would be slower overall, at least for RTA, as far as I know.
It's only very
It was
slightly slower.
The
but
fashion
yeah,
of the
it's-
time for quite a while. But we've turned
That's
our
what
backs on it.
that's what Spidey did in his run, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But perhaps we should talk a bit about Spidey's 100% run. He's had the in-game time world record for quite a while now.
You
and
just want to brag.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Actually, I didn't want to mention
No,
that, but
it's fair
fine.
enough. He's earned
Jeez.
it.
Go ahead.
He had the in-game time world record for quite a while because at the time he was running, which was like in 2013, right? I believe it's from 13, his run.
No JVKs? For shame.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Alright.
And that's when in-game time was pretty much the norm still back then. So, wildly different route from this. Not
Is this-
wildly different, but
This is the same. Like, did you do late Brimstar in the world record? Eagle? People were asking if this is the same route as world record.
No, it's not
No,
the same route.
Eagle did late Rinser.
Oh, okay, so
I do
apart
late
from-
Winstar. But other than that, it's exactly the same.
It should be same apart from that. Yeah.
I can explain like when you do late Winstar once that comes around, but it's not relevant for quite a while.
So I'm just gonna note that bosses die really quickly in this game.
They go down very quick.
There's not a lot of bosses that last more than a couple of seconds.
That was a long boss fight, really.
So-
Yeah, that is actually one of the longest bosses in the game, believe it or not.
Anyway, we were saying Spidey's run, it went, like, obviously it was way better than everyone else's, but additionally it was uncontested because people weren't, playing on the same axis. When
No
people
one
switched
used
to
the
RTA.
in-game time route in like the
Yeah.
recent times. Uncontested for a long time until 2 days ago, actually. I
Till a
guess.
guy called Simon came along.
Yeah.
I didn't want to humble brag. I actually just wanted to talk about the different routes, but fine, I'll humble brag.
We'll humble brag for you, dude. It's fine. So the other Simon, aka Eagle, aka Macword, aka a lot of other things. The other commentator for this run right now recently got world record in 100%.
In both times. Which is
In
cool.
In
both
both
RTA
real time and
and in-game time. Yes.
real time, Spidey's run has actually been beat for quite a while. Mobius Man, who's the runner right now, got the RTA world record like 9 or 8 months ago, something like that. So
Something
like,
like that.
yeah. So in terms of real time, Spidey's run has been beat for quite a while. So it's really hard to like compare routes and like the overall quality of the run. No one does that because like it's all gonna be arbitrary.
We got past the ammo intense part of the run for now. The first ammo intense part of the run.
He's like in terms of regular missiles, he's basically safe for the rest of the run now. But there's a couple of places where he'll like really want super missiles to take down.
This game is
I will-
this room is really long and boring. There's
I'll
not-
give £100 to someone who finds a way to do this run faster.
We found a way to do
I'll try an additional
No,
100
it's
points
not
on top of that.
It's called late creating.
It's not faster.
This room is faster.
Just do the task way.
Yeah, dude, it's faster.
Yeah.
The task bomb jumps past all the block and blocks, and it's not even remotely viable unassisted. I've tried a couple of times. I can't even get the first bomb.
So he
Nice.
grabs the unknown item here. There's a couple of
critical glitch?
oh wow,
okay,
yay.
okay. So that's again, I call everything fairly new, but it's not actually that new anymore. It's like a couple of months old. It's like it's more than a year old. We knew about this last marathon. But
Yeah, it
if
was really
you-
new last marathon.
Yeah, we did. So when you pop open an item bubble, the item doesn't spawn right away. It takes a couple of frames for the item to spawn. And if you manage to get into the hands of the statue, as a ball before the item actually spawns, you'll start refilling your items while the text that says you grab the item is on screen. Which saves, so it's pretty much saves like 2 seconds or something.
Also,
It's-
if you there's like a pop-up banner thing that pops up when
Nice.
you're done refilling. If you close that at this very specific point, the graphics will like glitch out.
Alright.
But that was a really good crate fight.
That was a really good fight.
I am very
Put
jealous
it up
actually.
there, and then I got alright.
It's pretty good.
So that is, I think, definitely the longest and most difficult boss fight in this category. It might have looked like it, but
And it's
one's
funny
actually
because
quite tricky.
that is like the fastest and most simple fight in any percentage.
yeah.
It's a nice contrast.
You'll see that guy. You'll see that fight in any percent tomorrow if you tune in. It's very, very different.
You'll see it twice. Oh my god. Because it's a race.
So he got speed booster now, and Shine Spark
Yeah,
is
Python
very,
is
very
pretty
useful
good.
in a lot of Shine Sparks that not only like can the Shine Spark save a lot of time in a bunch of places, but it's also necessary to collect.
Several items in Ridley. And Norfair.
Okay. And one very specialized event criteria.
Oh right, yeah.
This was a good grade. I had a bad run start, but this is a good grade.
So you guys can chillax for a bit. There's a couple of cutscenes coming up. Unfortunately, we had to sit through the cutscene right after leaving Crate. You could potentially skip it if you went to Ridley first.
Technically, I guess. Going to
Really
Ridley
first
isn't
is
really-
like, it's a
It's
much
n-
better route in every way except you don't get speed booster, which makes it completely unusable.
There's a lot of items in Ridley that require the use of speed booster, and you get speed booster in Crate. So basically, you have to do Crate first. You don't want to backtrack to Ridley later on. It's just really, really slow. I don't want to spoil anything, but what is your plan with Charge Beam Mobius?
I'm getting it late.
It's getting late, yeah. You should know this.
That's what I thought. Okay. So, Charge Beam is... Well, it's pretty useful in this game, but it is nowhere near
No,
as
it's not.
useful as, say, in Fusion.
Charge is, it's gotten more useful sort of lately because we found more stuff, but it's still not a very useful item. So I mean, you can grab this later on when coming back to Norfair, and that doing it like this saves a second.
That
Of
really
course.
cool shine spot through the Prince Star area.
It looks way cooler. That's the important part.
Yeah, that's definitely the important part. So here's another cutscene, just because...
It was common wisdom to get Charge Beam late for a long time, and then we
Yeah.
realized how little time it saves, so we started getting it early because it's useful.
Like the main reason I get it early is because it's easier.
Yeah,
It's like I don't care that 1 second. The game can have that 1 second.
Hold your Charge Beam and you jump. Basically do like a pseudo screw attack, which is probably like the most useful aspect of the Charge Beam, at least early on. Because that is like completely obsolete once you actually get screw attack. You get fairly early in this category.
yeah. Compared to most Metroid games, you get screw attack pretty early in this one. There's a trick with the best like coolness to difficulty ratios coming up. My Scandinavian spirits have gone quiet.
I'm just confused by the DF spam in chat, but I guess that's another guy. I think I figured it out.
So, yes, normally you wouldn't really get super missiles until like you reach the Ridley area. That's where a lot of the super missile tanks are early on. But there is one super missile tank in the Criteria area that you can get early on, and it's really useful because it allows you to access some areas in Norfair somewhat early, and it's really good for the 100% route.
Yeah, this super specifically doesn't require supers to get, which like is pretty rare among super tanks.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's one super missile like right out in the open in the Ridley area. Otherwise, there's a lot of them that require another super to get.
I think there are only 3 in the game that don't require supers to get. Like
Some of them are in like.
I don't know. There's not that many.
Because Brimstone super is technically getting a super early.
So you got the bomb jump out of the power grid pit. That's about a 2-second time save, right?
I'm gonna
I believe so.
Depends on how fast you do it.
Yeah, it definitely depends on how fast you do it. So bomb jumping, like, it saves a couple of seconds in a couple of places, and it's necessary for some things. Pretty easy to bomb jump overall in Zero Mission, right? What some people might think.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference in how you bomb jump and how useful it is.
Essentially, we like make a difference between like single bomb jumps and double bomb jumps, right? Double bomb jumps obviously take you upwards much faster.
I mean,
while single bomb jumps are really slow, but like they'll get you there eventually if you need to go somewhere. Oh, so up next is like part of the recent route change. What Mobius is gonna do is that he's gonna grab Ice Beam early. That's
Which is again a very old route.
Yeah, it's actually like a very
again.
old route. But like we changed to late Ice Beam, like
because early ice was stupid. It used to be stupid. It's not stupid anymore.
Not stupid anymore, and there's a good reason for that. That we'll talk about later.
When everyone was doing early ice, there was no reason to everyone no one actually checked if it was faster or not.
I think people knew it
For,
wasn't faster, they just assumed it would be too hard.
Yeah, no one tried anything.
Well, Ice Beam makes some things easier. Like, I can think of at least one boss that might get a bit easier if you have Ice Beam.
And there's like a couple of spots, but
it's useful, but it's never like necessary. Thanks to a new discovery, it's now faster to grab early.
It's now actually really useful because of a single room. It speeds up that room by a lot.
I mean, it seems like
we'll get to it.
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't spoil it. I don't want to talk about it yet.
Yeah, don't talk about it yet. We'll get there. We're hyping it up way too much.
Yeah, it's actually like. No, I don't want to talk about it.
It's gonna be so unreal.
I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
But we can't talk about it why it's cool yet. But anyway,
we'll have plenty of time afterwards to talk about why it's cool.
He has to go through a couple of heated rooms in Norfair. That's not a problem. He has so much energy at this point that he's never really in like any real danger.
It's slightly a problem. I've died here.
It would be a big problem if I wasn't planning to refill. Like with this route, you can go through all of Norfair without refilling, but it's hard.
Obviously, because you've taken a lot of damage and you've used a lot of missiles, the refill he'll be doing later on is very slow because like it takes a longer amount of time to heal if you've taken more damage and if you have less missiles or whatnot.
Oops. Item.
Try to do the turnaround animation when you grab an item. It takes a very minor amount of time, but it does look cool.
Oh, the unmorph.
Yeah, man.
That unmorph doesn't look like much, but it's pretty much pixel perfect for the game to allow you to unmorph in that spot. If you're even like a pixel up on either of those hills, you just can't unmorph.
Did you see that bomb jump, Eagle?
I saw it, and I figured you would like something I don't do, despite the fact that it's
next time.
faster.
Next time you do a world record, maybe you should do the bomb jump. It's a suggestion.
So much sass in this entire conversation.
So he's already getting screw attack now,
baby.
and we're only 23 minutes into
Another
the run.
refill glitch. Dude. All the refill glitches.
He used a very specific setup to get the refill because like you saw him ball jump as soon as he got into the room, and that's basically like a fairly safe setup for the refill glitch.
Are we getting money spark on this?
No.
Are we betting money?
But
I'm excited. Oh! That's good. Oh, you got it, dude! That is so hard. That shine
Easy
spark
every
is
time.
incredibly hard.
I went for the missile setup because the ice beam one is too hard. But
The
the
missile
setup I did
setup.
there is
missile kind of
RNG
gets screwed
dependent.
over by some patterns.
Yeah.
So that shine spark actually saves like
Takes like a second, whatever.
A second.
It's cool though.
it does look really cool. It's really hard to pull off, especially if you get some like bad patterns on those
Yeah,
enemies.
it's the first
Got a
time it's
good
been done in
pattern.
a marathon.
It is. It might be. Yeah.
I haven't seen it either, but like it's really cool. On an idea of how difficult it is to pull off, I don't think I've ever pulled it off in like any of my runs.
I think I've done it like twice ever in a run.
How hard is it compared to 0% Fusion Spark? It's way easier.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than that.
Someone asked in chat, but like the Fusion one is like you have 7 frames of leeway and you need to do like
Oh, the Bob
a bunch of jumps. It's really tough.
Bob Spark is like barely possible, so that doesn't really count. I
Bounce
guess
whip
this
is free, dude.
is. Damn, you're not even in this conversation. Where did you come from? But I guess I've never
Nice.
tried anything, but I guess this is sort of comparable to the full happy. I don't know. The only thing I know is that full happy is hard and this is hard, so I'm gonna say it's similar.
Yeah, they must be the same. Wow, nice.
I
Alright,
approve
good.
of this logic.
Alright, so
Good-
that's
good
one
job.
that's one of the places where charge beam is useful because you have an easy setup for destroying that block as soon as possible. So like that can kill your speed booster.
There's basically a block right after the door you have to shoot, and if you have charge beam, you can just release charge beam during the door transition. Gets it every time. But breaking the block isn't really hard. It's like a 7 frame window or something. No, it can't be 7. I don't know. It's
I
not
think
that
it's
bad.
5.
Might be fine, yeah.
Oh, shit. I mean, whoops.
You froze the
First ribbon.
I
Okay,
tried
maybe
to
a
shoot
bit
the
too
spore, and I missed the spore and hit the ripper instead.
this boss is one of the bosses that become slightly easier with Ice Beam. It's not like
It's,
major
it's
or
not
anything.
easier, dude.
It's
It's
way
definitely
I
easier.
think.
I swear it's not easier.
It's for sure faster though.
Yeah. Alright, so Ridley's Lair is easily the most, like, technically demanding part of the run. There are a load of tricks here that are cool, but hard.
We're also
Better
gonna
than
start off by
Lose a
leaving.
lot of time.
We're just gonna leave the lair.
Yeah, we're gonna
immediately.
leave right away.
Yeah, that was Ridley's Lair. That was the most technically
Yep.
demanding part of the run.
No, but we have to go down that elevator to activate this boss fight. So that's like we just go down, watch the cutscene, and come right back up. Guess you can't come down here before that.
And then there's a boss like immediately after the one we just killed. It's sort of like an extension to the boss we just killed, right? It's
Yeah.
supposed to be the cocoon.
I'm really
You were
surprised
fighting. You were
I
shooting
failed that.
really slowly. Yeah.
Like if
But-
you shoot missiles slightly faster, you can kill that guy just a tiny bit faster. It's not super important, but it does lose a bit of time if you don't get it.
Super important.
This
This
is more
one spark
important.
too.
Nah.
Nah.
Also a fairly difficult shine spark to pull off. You need to shoot the missile block like right away as you store a shine spark, and then you have a fairly
Whoops.
but
Mobius, please. No.
I told you
it's
really
a
hard.
very small platform you need to recharge the shine spark
Don't
on.
fall down again. I thought you were gonna bump up into the enemy.
I've done that so many
You
times.
guys didn't see that. He's not supposed to fall down there.
I just wanted to show off my bomb jumps.
Right, of course. Oh, it's happening now. Are you guys ready? This is why we get Ice Beam, basically.
Mind's blown.
Definitely just warp through the floor. You can probably give like a better explanation as to why that works than I can, Dragonface. So do you wanna?
I'm not gonna explain the entire trick because it's actually
Right.
like why it works is actually pretty complicated. But it turns out to be a really easy setup in that room, which is like really cool because we can actually use it. But basically, if you stand on top of two frozen enemies at the same time, they have to have exactly the same position, or you have to be standing on top of both of them, and they both die on the same frame. You sort of get like warped to the position of the other enemy, and if that enemy happens to respawn, you kind of like get teleported in only your vertical position to the position they would spawn from next.
Right. So what it does is that you don't have to go all the way through this room he's currently in to charge his Shine Spark.
Yes, those were
the
speed
speed
booster
booster
blocks
block,
he
yeah.
clipped through, and we have to go into the next room to get a speed booster and then come back, which is
Wow,
really annoying.
that's really bad. Whoops-a-daisy.
Where's the ledge house?
It's really rare to break the entire first row and not the second row.
It is actually. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, that is pretty rare. Sometimes the camera doesn't move even though you've destroyed both rows of blocks. But yeah, you need to destroy 2 rows of speed booster blocks, and you can do like a diagonal spark to save a tiny bit of time, as opposed to just going straight through them and hitting the wall at the end of the room.
But
Like a huge amount of time.
Like we said, this area is really technically demanding, so there's a lot of stuff like this where a tiny mistake can cost you a lot of time.
Because usually you need to like leave the room and then get another speed booster going or something like that.
Also, in that long room, I bonked a ledge that wasn't. I didn't actually fail that Shine Spark. That's intentional.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
it
it.
is. It's actually, it lets you grab an additional super drop, hopefully.
Except he didn't drop anything.
Oh yeah, like there's an owl enemy which has like a 70% drop rate to supers, and we really want supers. And bunking there is like it's frames slower, if slower at all. It's like really close, and you can't even tell which one is faster.
That room that he just went through, where he speed boosted through a bunch of speed blocks, that's actually that's the intended way you have to do it, but it's only I think it's a 4-frame window to correctly get through them. But that's a very difficult trick, even if you're just like want to get all the items as a casual player. That's probably one of the hardest rooms you'll encounter at all. One or 2 places I can think of that might be harder, but pulling off a 4-frame jump is pretty difficult. Especially because you have to shoot the blocks and the missile block before you hit those speed blocks. But you have to leave the room and
like just the fact that it's a 4-frame window isn't exactly what makes it hard. It's also that you can't see anything because you're running through a bunch of blocks, so there's like no way to have any sort of cue when you're supposed to jump. Because like that 4-frame window, the new shine break is also a 4-frame window, and that's like free. That's like super easy. But that jump is way harder.
Mm-hmm. Has 8 super missiles right now. By the time he gets to Ridley, he really wants to have 10 super missiles. So on top of,
I'm gonna have 9 when I get to Ridley.
Yeah.
Oh right, I forgot you hadn't picked up this tank. My bad. But he has the perfect amount of super missiles right now. So on top of having a fairly difficult area to get through, you also need to collect super missiles without like stopping too much.
Okay, people are discussing in chat that what frame rate this game runs on, and I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it runs at 60. I don't know, but
it's 60.
The in-game timer runs at 64. So every in-game second is 64 frames long. So the timer is
60.
I'm pretty sure the timer is just skewed. Like I was really confused for a while. Like, why the timer was like it was. I don't know.
Is that another insanely easy boss, courtesy of Zero Mission.
Ooh, nice drops.
You want super missile drops when it really dies, and you got 3, I think, which is really good.
Oh, nice drops.
You're gonna do the you're just gonna jump through the speed booster
Yeah, for
room,
sure.
right? Yeah.
Oh, with 6 supers, yeah, you should.
If you don't have enough super missiles, you could potentially just grab some of the drops from all those enemies you just run through. It's obviously slower though, because you can't just... Done with Ridley area mostly. Like 1 missile tank left.
Your jumpy setups? You're
Oh, I
doing
did
it
it
way
too low.
wrong.
But, yeah.
Okay. That was
You need to work.
that was
It's
a
a
cool
new
backup
threat.
though.
Okay.
That was a cool
it
backup.
is. It is an extra.
Yeah, that's
I mean-
one of the perks of having Ice Beam.
The single JVJ was pretty impressive.
Thank you. I like the name as well. Jumpy setup.
It's official. Okay.
So the main goal of the game at this point is to get the Mother Brain and kill her. Now, if he had not done early Brinstar cleanup, this is where he would go to that area in Brinstar and collect like the remaining items in that area. But since he already like grabbed all the items there, we're just heading straight to Turian.
Oh, he didn't bonk the ledge.
Yeah, that's a really
Hey.
stupid ledge because you can hit it and Samus will just lose her shine with it for some stupid reason.
Yes, it's just positioned in a poor way that sometimes when you're like going up to speed booster speed, like not actually at speed booster speed, but when you're like accelerating to it, she might just run into the wall because how the collision works. And now we're gonna start grabbing a lot of basic items like charge beam, hey!
Ice Beam, which is pretty much, I mean, it's not useful at this point anymore at all.
Took you way too long to grab charge beam. Should have had it way earlier.
I kind of forgot it was here, to be honest.
Nice, brave strat.
I want to say this Super Missile Tank is also one of the more difficult ones to grab if you're just a
Yes.
casual player.
The most ones I hear about from casual players is this super tank and that one energy tank in right after Charlie.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's also one at the very end that might be kind of difficult if you don't like realize how some of the mechanics of this game works.
Sort of, I guess.
Actually interested in what Mobius will be doing for the very last item in the game.
Yeah, I'm interested too. I haven't
I'm
decided
not gonna spoil anything now, but it'll be interesting, that's for sure.
Like, I don't think it's that interesting if you don't run the game.
Fair point.
It's like, it's not that... It doesn't look that visually impressive, like either of the ways it is.
I think given that I failed that really diagonal, this run isn't good enough that I should be doing any safe strats.
Guess so. Another benefit is that
This run will be... sorry, go on.
you'll be entering Turian with 12 super missiles as opposed to 11, because if you do late Brinstar cleanup, you have to shoot a super missile block to get back. And yeah, that obviously wastes one of the possible super missiles you would have for Turian. So, Dragon Fangs, I hear Turian is pretty free and
Terrain is
That
free,
way.
100% is free.
You can
can't-
still lose time from
You can lose
spawns.
time, but you can't lose like a ton of time. It's way more free than in any percent.
obviously you have be killing a lot of the Metroids really fast.
Yeah, basically you want as many super drops as possible. I mean, it's all R&D. Every super drop you get saves about 2 seconds, I think, sort of. I think that's close enough.
He's gotten one drop.
Yeah.
One drop, going pretty well.
You also probably won't see him go below 4 supers, I assume, because that's the amount we need to kill Motherbrain in a timely manner.
We can talk a bit about that once we reach Motherbrain, how the fight is supposed to go down. Normal mode, obviously, so there's not actually that many Metroids. If you've seen a hard mode run, you'll notice that there's like far fewer Metroids.
You are getting really bad RNG.
Yep.
I get like 4. 4 is like supposed to be average. I don't know. It doesn't feel like average.
Definitely doesn't. So he has to kill these barrier things called Sabatites before he can get to Motherbrain.
Technically, you don't have
Technically,
to
you
kill
don't
them.
need to kill some of them, but we will not be doing that in this run because the setup is
The setup
difficult.
is really slow.
Yeah.
It's really slow too. So there's no practical use for it yet. But we can skip Sabatites in Zero Mission as well. At least 2 of them.
What he's doing at Motherbrain is that he's shooting.
Your
But
mic
that
is kind
is
of cutting
that-
out sometimes. I don't know if it's just me.
So that is because Motherbrain closes her eye once she's taken a certain amount of damage.
No.
You want to maximize the amount of missiles you get in before you hit her with a super missile, so she doesn't shut her eye as much as she could. Well, we killed Motherbrain, so the game is over now, right?
Yeah, we're way underestimated.
Yeah. We also forgot a few items, I think.
Sorry, Maelstrom.
At least we'll be ahead of schedule now, right?
So yeah, spoiler alert, the game
And
isn't
big
actually
time.
over. Sorry.
Alright. Time for a tea break.
Yep, there's a very long cutscene.
I mean,
How
we save
you, chat?
very long, but it's like 2 minutes.
The hell was that?
It's by far the longest break in this game, but it's comparatively to a lot of other games, it's not actually that much.
Cutscenes in this game are fairly like,
They move along pretty quickly.
yeah. There's one final, I want to say, cutscene coming up before the end. That's also like one of the longer ones in the game, but overall it's still really short.
Yeah.
So, spoiler: Samus.
Metroid can crawl.
Metroid
Come on, guys.
can crawl.
There's no need for these ancient memes.
That meme will never die.
So once you start this section, you're equipped with, in the Japanese version, a handgun.
Oh, it says it. I haven't even noticed. It says handgun. I think.
If you were playing the English version, you would have a pistol. But
Yeah.
I mean, they do the same thing. It's just one of those strange localization choices. But he also starts with only 99 energy.
Where are we
That's
going?
not enough.
Taking
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
damage.
refilling.
Okay.
Don't worry.
There's actually no. You don't actually have to refill here. There's nowhere in this area where you have to take where it's beneficial to take damage. But
At the end.
everything, I guess at the end. But everything in this area will one shot, does 100 damage. So not refilling is really risky.
I mean, it's pretty common practice to do it in runs, but not in a marathon.
Yeah. It's not so risky that you shouldn't do it. It's just dying would be bad in a marathon, and it only costs 7-8 seconds, I think, to refill.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
not that bad.
Obviously, a somewhat slow refill in 100% because you have that much more energy at this point.
Yes. In 90%, it barely loses time. It's like 2 seconds, I think. 90%. It's not much at
So
all.
the trick you just got is actually a fairly difficult one, especially according to you, Dragonfangs.
I think that's like the hardest trick in this segment, but you guys don't agree.
Yeah. You basically, as soon as you shoot those bomb blocks with your stun gun, you fall down. So you want to like do a spin jump as soon as possible, and
You are
Whatever
cutting
way.
out a lot.
not sure what to do about it.
I don't know.
It's cool. This is what we do at the same
Hopefully you
time.
can understand what I'm saying.
You're not saying anything useful anyway.
Come on, guys, be nice.
Man, nice. This is how I show appreciation.
No, I'm not going for this now that I've failed it horribly.
Yeah, that's. There's a trick here to not have to wait for these searchlights, but it's sort of precise in a way. You have to do the platforming to get up in position really, really quickly and like well. But actually, in place, it's a really weird and awkward timing to doing it. The actual window isn't that hard, but it's just a really awkward trick until you like practice it a bunch. But if you fail any part of the platforming early on, you should just stop and wait for the lights to move out of the way.
I might not have seen some of these shortcuts if you've only played the game casually.
Yeah, I had
Oh.
no idea those were there until I watched the speedrun. They're not cheated because they're not like signposted at all.
Yeah, no, there's a lot in this area specifically. Like a ton of them. There's like some weird single block up in a corner somewhere that leads to a secret passage that, like, it only saves time. It doesn't like let you do anything interesting except for go through this part faster.
You also avoid being spotted by the pirates, as I recall. So if you wanted to
Yeah, well, sure.
go for perfect stealth, as in not getting caught by any pirate whatsoever, you would have to use them, I think.
I don't even remember what the original path through Suitless is like.
Probably really boring.
Probably really good.
Oh man, this sucks.
No
You didn't get it?
Sandstrap.
No, sounds right.
Not really sure why I didn't get it, but oh well.
There is a strat through that room where you don't get caught, and it's I can't really explain how it works. I know how it works, but I can't really explain it well. You have to like do a very specific set of movements through that room, and the pirates just forget you're there.
Well, the goal is to not get seen by any pirates for a long period of time, but the pirate behind you and then the pirate at the end of the room and all the pirates below, you have to move in a very specific way.
Yes.
Not random, but it's kind of inconsistent.
It's finicky. It's the word I
Yeah.
use to describe it.
That's a good word for it, definitely.
See, so it's a good reason you refilled, because you would have
Yep.
died.
Another benefit to refilling in this area that can make up some of the time you lose by refilling.
The boss coming up. So the boss coming up, this like takes a random amount of time before it gets vulnerable. It just like stands there and has an image of Samus, and after a while it turns into a symbol, and you can shoot the symbol to damage him. And that's a completely random timer. But after you hit the symbol, if you shoot another beam and hit the image of Samus, the timer gets, on average, a lot shorter. So you can.
Yeah, there's a timer for after you damage him successfully, and there's a second timer for after you get hit, and the second one is shorter.
Yeah,
Is that
so
right?
yeah, pretty much. They're not like exclusively shorter. The original one
Yeah, I
can
mean
be
the
shorter,
range
but
is
yeah, it's general. You can save several seconds by actually shooting yourself. It's I think 2 or 3 seconds. 3 sounds a lot, but like 2 seconds overall by shooting yourself. Which, if you don't take the refill at the start of Suitless, you don't actually have health to do this more than once.
yeah, and doing it once is super risky.
Yeah, because then you're one hit away from dying from anything else. And it's actually fairly hard to do this boss without getting hit.
So this boss has a very peculiar name. We like to call him Charlie. I don't actually know the story behind the name very well.
There's no story. It's like Jagger D was like, we need a name for this boss. Let's call him Charlie. Okay.
That stuck around.
Yeah, I mean, it's all dogs go to heaven, right?
Fight sucks.
This fight is horrible. This fight is really, really annoying.
No.
To get quickly.
It's also
Oh, I missed the second one. Oh, this isn't bad.
It's pretty random.
Whoops.
Much random. How did you get hit there? I don't even understand.
Alright, now the good part.
Particularly difficult series of shine sparks coming up. Very well kill a run if you're not careful. I mean, it's not super tight or anything, but
It's scary.
Definitely scary, and you have to recharge your shine spark twice on a very, very small platform. It's pretty difficult.
Butt clench spark, I like that name.
We're basically just holding our breath.
I was holding a sneeze.
Sneezing would be pretty bad at this point.
Also, if you guys didn't notice, he also got Warrior Suit when he activated all of his abilities.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the game just gives various to you. It counts as a percentage, and the item disappears from its original location, so there's no question about that. You actually literally get the item.
You didn't have to do what we call coward strats. You basically recharge twice on that small platform, so we don't have to
Yeah, the coward strat is just getting that missile after the E-tank.
Faster to get the missile tank before the E-tank, but if you want to recharge twice, you can just do E-tank before the missile tank.
The game doesn't assume you have it, it straight up gives it to you.
Yeah.
Various Suit is one of the required items, so it counts towards low percent.
It's definitely not like a glitch or anything. The game actually checks to see if you have barrier, and then if you don't, it gives it to you.
It's very intentional.
Not sure why, but there you go.
I don't know. I guess grabbing Various Suit after having fully powered and gravity would be weird. I don't know.
Be slightly weird.
It would be at least reminiscent of Metroid Prime 2, where you get the light suit before the dark suit.
I actually did that in runs, yeah. So this is just gonna be, oh, you can do a missile spark there, I didn't think of that. This is just a long trek to get power bombs, so that we can start doing cleanup. There's very little actually happening in this stretch, which is sort of annoying.
You get to run around with base jump and plasma beam, it's good fun.
Well, I mean, I like, from a casual perspective, I see the point on this, but for a run, it's sort of annoying to go all this way and then go all this way back, and we grab two items.
That's true.
You need power bombs in a couple of places to get some of the final items in the game, so it has to be done basically.
Well, you need power bombs to even get back to the normal part of the game.
This is why we need early power bombs.
We do need power bombs. We've tried though. We've tried for 10 years. It's hard. Okay.
2016.
2016, baby. We're finding it.
But there's a lot of cool tricks.
Yep.
And they're fairly difficult too, so.
I like these weird artistic pauses that happen because the eagle is cutting up. Yeah, there's honestly not much to say here. In any percent, this is sort of scary because pirates, even though they die really quickly to your weapons, they still do a lot of damage, and you don't have that much health in any percent. But in 100%, you kind of just run through everything. There's like nothing that
So you have
interesting
light
happen.
green. You can just blast everything. Here we go. Oh, we've entered underwater mode.
Oh no. Eagle, what are you doing? This is freaking me out. It's like some Silent Hill.
Apologies.
Okay, fix it. Good.
I wanted to see if I could fix it, but I'm just gonna hope
I think
you'll
you made it
understand
work.
what I'm saying.
It's just fine.
Anyway, we have power bombs now. They're pretty good. They blow
They're
up
really
everything.
scarce though. We do
Yeah.
not have a lot of power bombs, so we have to be really careful about where we place our power bombs.
Each power bomb use is carefully planned.
Yes.
Should you happen to get a power bomb drop sometime soon, you can potentially save 5 seconds.
Yes,
Would be nice.
there's a place where we actually don't have enough power bombs, really, but getting a drop would be helpful. We can still make it without it, but it takes a weird detour, sort of.
Expecting good things from glass tube Mobius.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I got money spark, so
I don't want to pressure you or
Actually,
anything.
no.
What
problem.
could go wrong?
yeah. What could go wrong?
So there's a trick coming up where we refer to it as glass tube. That is, you have one shot at this trick. If you fail it at all, you have to do some weird backup stuff that's really slow. Basically, we're gonna destroy the glass tube we went through earlier with a power bomb, and while it's getting destroyed, we're gonna charge a shine spark, and then use that to break some blocks. And if we lose that shine spark for any reason, the glass tube is broken, and you have to go like down and some weird areas to get another shine spark. So we can just hope that Mobius doesn't screw up. It'll be
Hopefully.
fine then. I have faith. I have faith.
Easy.
Alright.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, we're fine. We're fine.
Basically, that saves having to charge up a shine spark, like where he is right now.
It saves a lot of door transitions. So it
Wouldn't
saves...
actually do it if you went for in-game time, right?
No.
No, it's slower for in-game time.
It's slightly slower for time, but it saves like 12 seconds right here or something ridiculous.
No power bombs.
Yeah, we would
Yeah, no power
we
bombs.
would like a power bomb up there. It's fine. We can. You can't really expect that because it's pretty rare for it to happen. But
Very
when it
rare.
happens, it's great.
On a more
Yeah,
positive note, you can expect to see a cool sequence of shine sparks instead.
Hopefully.
I think yeah, all the Dreamers have a 5% drop rate for power bombs, so it's pretty rare, but it's happiness when it happens.
So the strats I have to do, because I didn't get a power bomb, are slower and much harder. I'm gonna play them a little bit safe.
One extra recharge, just in case.
So these two blocks are power bomb blocks, so we could just bomb them away if we got an extra power bomb. But now we have to do a shine spark around them. It's a lot more awkward.
That was close.
That's really
And you
low.
almost
Oh
hit the
wow,
platform.
that was so low.
Well, you got it. That's the important part.
We're good.
Gonna do the space boost or no?
Oh, go for it. Ah,
More attempts to save half a second and failing.
That is a fairly difficult space boost overall.
There's so much stuff in this game that it's sort of hard, and it saves a second or half a second. Like almost all the cold tricks take like no time.
So we have to go to Turian for a short trip to collect 2 items, right? Yeah, 2 items.
2 items, yeah.
One is a power bomb that you need a super missile for. Final item is, I want to say it's one of the more well hidden items in the game.
This missile tank? I guess. When you can tell there's speed blocks, and you can still shine spark through here. So it's...
What the hell just happened?
Did you grab a left?
Ah, no.
No?
You stopped too early.
I guess
never-
I guess I stopped. Whoops.
I have never seen that.
That's
I've-
weird.
I've seen people fail the space boost a lot of times, but never like that.
Oh well.
That was weird. Failing that space boost is really costly because you have to run all the way back to get the speed booster.
No worries, guys.
It's fine.
I'll part of the plan.
You just want to
You
demonstrate
got to
that
see
it's
this space boost twice. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, you're welcome.
hard. He didn't land. He just there's a lot of speed booster blocks below him that he would have broken. He for some reason stopped. I guess it's from you shooting.
Yeah.
You want to shoot as soon as you pass those blocks to get like to expose the missile. But I guess you just shot that shot like a few frames too early.
There's a couple of items you need to pick up in Crate, and that's where we're going right now.
There's like one item.
Area of 3.
You don't need a lot of the items we have to like get these, but they're faster to get now.
I can only remember 2.
Well, watch and learn.
I think I might be forgetting.
What items
Oh
you-
yeah, there's 3. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, I'm so sorry. There's only one that we couldn't have picked up earlier, though, but
Which is the
other
one
two-
we just picked up.
Yeah. I totally forgot about this next missile tank.
It's
This room.
stupid. Nobody likes it.
I forgot this entire room existed.
There's a very convenient shortcut.
Oh yeah. Like most shortcuts in this game, which are just random blocks that you can break sometimes, and they turn out to be really convenient.
Need screw attack for this one, I believe.
Yes, there's a screw attack blocks. Because of all these like random hidden corridors between areas, routing 100% is really, really complicated. And there are a lot of viable paths all over the place. Which makes it really interesting from a routing perspective.
Picking up the power bomb tank here, you could potentially get this early, right, Dragonfangs?
This power bomb tank, you can, in theory, you can get it early. You can't do much after you've grabbed it, but you can get it.
Get that power bomb tank early. You can do a very specific like death hover.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
If you.
I guess.
Oh.
What? The weirdest thing I've ever found in this game is your health ticks down during door transitions sometimes. There's kind of a frame of action during a door transition. So if you're going between 2 heated rooms, you can lose health. And if you die, then the next room like half loads while your death animation half plays. And then you get to hover around the next room unloaded in no-quit mode, which is weird.
It's really.
And then you can hover to where the power bomb tank should be, press B, no-quit mode deactivates, you pick up the power bombs and then you die immediately.
You've done this on console, correct?
No,
Yeah.
on console.
Well, it's been done.
Yeah. Okay.
It's doable, but like it's useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool though. we're getting there. We're gonna get early power bombs eventually.
Early power bombs would basically like break the game wide
It would
open.
break. Yeah, it would break it so hard. We would skip the entire suitless segment pretty much.
So we pick up a few items left in Norfair, and then we'll be heading to Crateria, and then back to like.
Somewhere.
Just over there.
That's the one.
I had to think of where we're going. It's very good. The game can handle early power bombs. We've gotten early power bombs with. I mean, I guess that was on debug ROM. We have a ROM that's like a debug version where we can equip and unequip items at will. And yes, it would be possible to beat the game with early power bombs. It doesn't handle it perfectly, but it's beatable with it.
It'd be
Some
really
things
cool.
act weird, but it's mostly functional.
It doesn't break the game like as much as you might expect, because you still need to do stuff like kill Charlie.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Well, I mean, you'd skip Turian though, so it's a pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
If you go back to Turian, would it be like ruined Turian?
Not if you go through the front entrance.
Yeah, it depends on which entrance you go through.
Okay, so if you use the back entrance, you get ruined Turian.
No,
Yeah.
it's still not. Is it?
Wait, really?
you
Oh, it's
can't-
exploding, isn't it?
It's exploding, and you can't
Oh,
let the
right.
butterbeans through.
Yeah.
It's like this game handles like weird sequence breaks that aren't actually possible on console yet. We haven't found a way to actually do them. But it handles certain stuff really oddly. But I mean, this game is like really stable for like if you compare it to other Metroid games like Super or like the original. It's like we haven't really found anything super game breaking.
Oh, this powerbomb tank.
Yeah, this is the least popular part of the route. You have to do a pretty big backtrack to
Have
get
to
one
go-
particular powerbomb tank.
Yeah, we have to go really, really far to pick up one powerbomb tank, and then walk all the way back after grabbing it. It's easily like the most boring part of this run. It has to be done because you need powerbombs to get this powerbomb.
I mean, I think going through these parts with full suit, appeared like as opposed to with suitless, is a bit interesting though. But yeah, it's for a single power tank, which is pretty more.
Pretty far you have to walk just to get one item.
The problem is on your
No
way back, you're
shortcuts or
going
anything.
through the exact same rooms as after Charlie as well.
Yeah, that's true.
There it is.
Hey. Like the worst part is that we're right here, right after Charlie, and we don't have power bombs, so we can't grab it.
At this point, there's very few items left. There's
Like 3, 2,
I think it's 3.
4.
powerbomb
Oh,
tank, there's a energy tank, and there's a super missile tank, right?
Oh, please, guys, don't shoot me.
I think
Yeah, I think
yeah,
it's
it's a super power bomb and help.
2 powerbombs, right?
2 power bombs? Yeah, right. 2 power bombs. 4.
Oh right, I forgot about the one. You can do a pretty cool shine spark too.
Hey, Mr. Spark.
Nice swag.
So home stretch. Right at the end of the run, there are some pretty interesting strats.
Definitely. Which are you going for, Mobius?
It's a surprise.
I mean, yeah.
It's a surprise to everyone.
A surprise, okay.
Yeah. We'll see. First, I gotta just go back to the start of Chiledia to get a couple of items.
You have to go to the area you start in when you begin the suitless section to collect a couple of items. Not really like too many difficult.
Parts
This-
in this segment.
This part is pretty straightforward.
I feel like we should be telling people that all these jumps are like frame perfect and stuff.
But we'd be lying. But...
Yeah, they don't know that.
I mean,
It's
there has been a lot of strategy talk. Like, there are a lot of should we, like tiny things. Like, should we just fall to the left or the right of this platform? Oh my god.
So one thing that's probably like worth mentioning is that he jumped over a map station, and he also jumped over that map station when he started the super section.
Thank God.
Obviously, we don't want to pick up the maps.
They have a pretty large area actually where you just like get sucked into the map cannon. I think it's not a cannon. It looks like a cannon. That's the word I can think. But yeah,
Whatever
the
it
map
is.
station, the station thing. It's like way larger than it looks. But it only grabs you if you're on the ground, so you can jump over it.
All of the map of shame. Someone
You can
said that in
transport
chat.
into it as well, can't you?
Yes, you can. You can shine spark. If you shine spark low enough to the ground, you'll get sucked into it. That might be pixel perfect now. So something to point out as well is that the final boss gets way harder if you actually have all the items. Its health and damage output triples. But
More
you have-
damage as well?
yes, a swipe does like 300.
Oh,
No.
we're going for it. We're going.
Sorry guys.
Nah.
It was worth a try.
That was worth a try.
That space jump saves like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Over
it's-
having
it's-
to
do
do
say
chance
chest the
run.
second time.
It's likely what most people did casually to grab that E-tank, but it's pretty hard.
Definitely extremely hard.
So Mobius is gonna do coward strats the second time. This is what
Yeah.
most runners do here, because of how late this is and how risky this space jump is. But 5 seconds is a lot. We probably should start doing space jump more often.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think people should be doing.
So we get to see if he has 100% items here. If Mecha
Fingers
dies
crossed.
really fast.
You tell super early because the fight ends really
If I don't,
soon.
I'm blaming you guys. You guys have been watching this run.
I'm pretty sure you didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I
I-
haven't seen you miss anything either, so it
I
should be
would
okay.
I would like if all 3 of us missed an item, that would have been scandal.
Good fight.
Yeah, that was definitely
Nice.
smooth. Then there's one final escape sequence, and we're done.
Ah.
Gotta
You-
go
you
for the
can-
door bomb.
You can bomb that door open and save like 2 frames. You have to time it pretty well. It's way easier to do if you have a power.
Like one difficult trick left of this run, but it was recently made easier with a new strat.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try the new setup.
You're gonna do easy? Okay.
Yeah.
The idea is that you want to store a Shine Spark and break a specific speed block at the same time. And overshoot destroying that block, because then you waste your speed booster.
Okay, didn't get it.
Yeah, I
Right.
thought that was too far.
Ready?
Yeah,
Okay,
very slightly.
there you go.
This Shine Spark is super important because it skips so many rooms.
It's like 20 seconds, I think. Goes through this entire room, and on the top of this room there's a work bot, and work bots are super slow. Yeah, it's an important one.
Time ready, time now. Probably should give him a warning.
I got it, it's fine. 1:14:29.
That's pretty bad.
Shouldn't have failed the space job.
Shouldn't have spelled the church jump, you're
That
correct.
wasn't the space.
Well, there was Tyrion space boost, and there was the Ridley diagonal, and there was the
Yep.
space jump.
Yeah.
Apart from those three things, the run was quite good.
Yeah, like those things alone was like a minute and a half, or maybe even 2 minutes.
I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty happy with this run no matter what, because I got Money Spark.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Money Spark was perfect.
It's called Money Spark because Kirby promised to donate $100 if either me or Mobius got it during ESA, and we didn't. So
No.
Good job, guys.
we tried, okay. I think this was the first time it's done in a marathon. So.
Doing your job for charity. Alright, we'll let the ending play out and then we'll start setting up for the fusion race.
So if you guys want, you can try to guess the in-game time. That's sort of a zero mission tradition if you
Oh, this
want.
is gonna be hard. Wow.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty hard. People of the chat, if you guys like Zero Mission, first of all, tomorrow there's an 80% race between Eagle and Sam Digital, who are the widely recognized top 2 players in the world. So that's going to be pretty good. But also, if you like Zero Mission and you can wait about 3 more weeks at ESA, myself and the 2 Simons on commentary are all going to be racing 80%. So that's going to be fun. And you get to laugh at our stupid faces as well.
But yeah, what the hell is this in-game time though?
I'm gonna guess 56:11.
That's a good guess.
Best guess.
I'm quietly optimistic that this is a high 52.
I think it's a very low 53, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's not that low 53. I'm thinking like 53:21.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, dude, someone sniped my guess.
You sniped that on Twitch, like, it's fine, don't worry.
yeah, right.
There were like the Ridley Diagon is like 4 extra doors, so
Right, that's,
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right. So maybe not. Yeah.
Basically, the in-game timer doesn't run when you go through doors.
the suspense.
Oh no. There's a lot of guesses in chat. I can't keep track of all of them. So we're gonna find out who's closest.
Yeah, whoever's closest gets like, I don't know, mod on the Dundee for 3 years.
Normally they get
Yeah, no,
50,
that's
right?
not happening. 3 seconds, maybe.
We're gonna
give
give you a-
3 seconds.
We're gonna give you a month of free Twitch Turbo, okay guys? Get in on this.
Well,
Well,
I was
30.
nowhere. I was
Oh
nowhere near.
wow.
I saw 31,
That
I
was
think.
35.
Yeah, we have a 53-31. Is the closest one, I think.
lost
Yeah,
to
Who
Hero
was
Bread.
it?
The Hero
What was
Bread.
that name?
Hero
Hero
Bread.
Bread, good on you.
yep, that was the closest.
lost to
Alright,
game
that
one.
that is a higher time than I was expecting, but oh well.
Alright,
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So is
It was
it
a really
Fusion
good
next?
run.
Yeah,
Eh,
it's Fusion next.
okay.
So
Alright,
yeah, thanks for
Fusion's
that
really
run,
good.
and thanks for the commentary, guys. We'll move over to set up for the Fusion race.
Bye, chat.